Hey guys, it's Jen with Free Time Stitching, and I'm here for my second Flosstube video. If you remember, last week I promised I would show you how I finished this adorable voodoo ragdoll, and I won't disappoint. But first, let's start with the work in progress for the week. So I didn't get a whole lot done as far as my stitching goes. I'm still working on the dancing bear, which I'm working on one of my first dyed fabrics that really just stoked my love for dyeing fabric and some sort of an addiction, my husband would say. But anyways, didn't get anything else done on this, but I sure do love the colors. I am also working on, oh, here is my project bag that my mom made for me. It has seashells, seahorses, and starfish, and it's a pretty good size bag. I love it. She made me 2 of them. I need more. Christmas is coming, so maybe. Anyways, I'm doing Autumn Lane Stitchery, their witch's spell. I absolutely love the ghosts and the witches. And if you remember, I actually airbrushed the fabric that I'm using for this with a nice Halloween moon and sky. I did go ahead and get another green color in, and I'm just loving the way that the greens are popping. So the trees in the background here, I use DMC colors, and the greens, and then the witch's dress, I'm using a combination of Entice and Silk Lame. Let me get a couple of those out for you so you see what those look like. I absolutely love them. They're easy to work with and just very, very luxurious. So we have Entice and Silk Lame. I'm lucky enough to have a cross stitch store down the road from me called Golden Needle. And so I get into a lot of trouble when I go there, but that's where I get my specialty threads other than DMC. So if you're ever in Southwest Florida, be sure and stop into the Golden Needle and plan for hours, because you will need some time to go through the entire thing. All right, so I did some dyeing. I know last week I showed you that I dyed this heart, and this is on linen, but you guys, I have perfected my dye mix on Lugana. Lugana is usually a muted color, not as vibrant, but this is Lugana and it is absolutely beautiful. I used a zip tie instead of rubber band, and so I got some white accent marks in between the 2 colors. And again, I'm just so excited with this one. I can't wait to start stitching on it. This weekend, my husband showed me a cross stitch of Jim and Pam from The Office at her desk, and I told him it would look so cute in the center of this heart, so who knows, maybe my next whip. My next obsession in dyeing has been the mandala. So I call this one Mellow Mandala, and I just absolutely love the way that it turned out. I can't wait to do one in every single color combination there is, and I can do multiple sizes. The bigger the better. I'm just super excited about this one. I'm not sure what I will stitch on it at this point. I'll find something and put it out there for you all to see. I asked for suggestions on Facebook, and they said put nothing on it, frame it as is, it's beautiful. And although I say thank you, I would really like to find something super cool to cross stitch on it. Also, this week, Fabric of the Month went out. First Monday of October. This is October's Fabric of the Month, and it is just absolutely beautiful oranges and purples, perfect for Halloween. So again, October Fabric of the Month went out, so be looking for that. There's a few spaces still available if you'd like to sign up. All right, here is how my wreath is shaping up. I've done most of it. I left a blank spot here so I can show you exactly how I put on the mesh ribbon. So first we'll start off with the adorable ragdoll voodoo doll. So I'm super happy with how that turned out. I simply got a piece of foam and I put it on there so that I could create kind of like a pen cushion on there and have my pen sticking out. So, and it's super light. I just absolutely love it. So you remember I designed the ragdoll, the voodoo ragdoll. I drew it, I put it into a cross stitch program, and then I stitched it on my Creepy Delight fabric. You can see I cut it out here. So then I was looking for the perfect way to put it onto the wreath so that it would really be showcased. And so I got some foam, and it was a bigger block, about this big. I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again, and I took a template and made an oval out of it. And then you can actually use styrofoam to sand down styrofoam. It sands itself. So another trick with using styrofoam is I just took like an old kitchen knife, and I have a block of wax because I have a wax melt and do some batik dyeing. But you just take a piece of wax and you just run the knife through, and then it cuts through the styrofoam much easier. So it doesn't create as much, it doesn't crumble it, it goes straight through it. So again, you can use pieces of the styrofoam to sand it out smooth, and you can cut it with a knife that you've run through some wax. So that's how I created the base for the ragdoll to go on my wreath. All right, so I've adjusted the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I took the 3 rolls of the mesh that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I lined them out on my cutting board. I stacked them so that I could cut all 3 pieces. I have a purple, an orange, and black, so that I could cut them all at the same time. So I went over here to the first spot. It's 16 inches wide, so I really wanted a square piece. So it doesn't have to be perfect because they're just going to coil up. So I did 6 inches here on my ruler, and I used a rotary cutter, and I just went straight across. And then what I come up with is a whole bunch of these tubes. So see, I still have a bunch of these tubes left. All right, so then I took my pipe cleaner. I had regular old size pipe cleaner from the Dollar Tree, and I cut them into 4s. So I cut them into 4s, and all I did was I would take and I would split these up, and I would take the purple and I would take it through the middle of the tube and twist it. So then I have something that looks like this. Let me grab the wreath. Okay, there's the wreath. So then on the center wire pieces, I just took and alternated the colors. I would straddle the pipe cleaner onto the middle part of the wreath, and I would twist it from behind. And then after I get a few good twists, I take and the excess, I just wrap it around to kind of help secure it. And that way we don't have all those little pipe cleaners sticking out from back behind a wreath. There we go. So again, I have an orange one. I grab a pipe cleaner, take it through the center of the tube, fold it over, do a little twist, like that, and then I go back to the wreath, to these center pieces. I straddle the wire, and I just twist it from behind. And then again, after I get a few twisted, I just take the excess and I wrap it around the wire on the wreath, just so that we don't have it poking out from behind. So I'll finish that all in, but you just get it good and full and just kind of work it around. You'll see I put on the spiders. I have a black spider right here. I put it on with black twisty tie, same similar way. I just wrapped it around the belly of the spider and then fastened it to the wire of the wreath. For my rag doll, when I put her on, since she's styrofoam, I just put pipe cleaners through the back piece of it, and then I just again put it through and tightened it to the back of the wreath on the open wire mesh. And then see, I have an orange, I have a purple, black, and orange spider. I also had Halloween ribbon that I got, and so what I did with that is I cut it in 6-inch pieces as well. Let me move the wreath so you can see what I'm doing better. All right, so I had a 6-inch piece of the ribbon, and what I did was I folded it over the right side in, and then I folded it in half so I could just cut both pieces at the same time. It has wire in the end, so I used my paper cutting scissors, not my fabric cutting scissors. My mom would be proud. So then I just cut through all of it at an angle, and that way I have a nice little fancy end. I took a black pipe cleaner and I just kind of scrunched it up and went over the top and through the back like I did the mesh pieces. And I just did a twist, and then the same thing. Ever so often when I feel like it needs a pop of white, I just straddle the wreath and I twist it and then wrap it around. So I have quite a few of those left to put in. You might have realized that last week I showed you some things from the Dollar Tree that I thought I was going to put into my wreath. I had these black roses with a silver skull on them that I thought would look really cool and match the rest of the wreath. And then I had these purple Halloween roses with little bats flying out the end. So I had a moment today, maybe a make it work moment. I'm a huge Project Runway fan and Tim Gunn fan. And so my make it work moment, I also leaned on Tim Gunn and was like, I felt like I was throwing everything at it and I really needed to use an editing eye. And I just thought, you know what? It just doesn't need it. So I said, forget it. I'm not using it for that. So I stuck to my plan. And although I have a little bit of an opening here where I'm going to fill in with the extra that I just showed you. But overall, I think it's going to be a beautiful Halloween wreath. And I'm super proud of it. And I hope you enjoyed and learned something from watching me make the wreath. Thank you.